Um, do you see a lot of inequalities within the student body?
I would say I do. It goes down to the haves and the has-nots sometimes about, I feel like we're all offered the same opportunities, but yet some may not feel welcome to take advantage of those opportunities based upon who they are or what they've came from.
As an incoming student, did you feel welcomed?
For the most part, there's still, every once in a while, there's still people that don't make you feel welcome, but
There's a lot of stress going on in high school, and you're going through so much other stuff. It would be nice to have some sort of outlet like that.
Studies have shown that communities in rural geographic areas face significant challenges in recruiting mental health professionals and sustaining a sufficient mental health care community. Redesign isn't just about improving the school, it is also about helping the community grow and prosper. Students deserve the right to an equal and fair education system, as well as mental health support and treatment. From the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001 to Common Core, children in school are supposed to be getting the same opportunity, but some students are obviously getting left behind, whether it is from class loads, unwillingness to work, or if their mental health inhibits them from finishing their tasks. Redesign should be based on the bettering the education of students and making all learning styles equal and more available for all students, regardless of home life or mental health issues. Redesigning the school system will help with the coping and stopping of home abuse, better mental health accessibility, and help those with mental health problems deal and help our school get back to solving their home life issues.
How does it affect society?
Well, it can hurt, depending on the substance, it can hurt the family life and then.
Absolutely. It affects the family life, okay? So somebody goes to prison for a burglary or drugs or whatever like that, okay? What happens with the kids? Single father, single mom. They have to go to prison. What? Protective services. Who pays for that? Okay. So now, let's say the kids get to, because let's just be honest, our foster care system is not the best in the world in the state of Kansas, okay, by any means, all right? I think we need to spend more money on foster care services, but that's just my personal opinion. That's my Democrat coming out of me. I go back and forth between Democrat and Republican, so don't. But my Democrat tells me we need to spend more money in those services, okay? So, what happens with those kids? They get in a bad situation, they get in a bad foster home, they don't have any contact with their parents, maybe they were mistreated and abused. What happens with them?
They just keep getting put somewhere else.
Does it ever stop? It's a revolving circle, okay? I've arrested somebody who was a son of somebody I sent to prison for the exact same thing in Wichita. He had a baby when I sent him to prison. When he turned 16, I arrested his son for practically the same charge. Now, does that happens all the time? No, but it is a constant revolving circle that happens.
Most children that come from a rough, unlikely past usually end up by doing the same illegal activities as their parents. This happens because they have been raised around those actions and activities. Therefore, they think that is okay. Getting those children out of their bad situations and back on the right track for a successful life is the first and foremost goal for those children. Many people may think that crimes against children could not happen in such a small community, but I'm afraid they are wrongly mistaken. In the summer of 2018, there were at least 7 reported crimes against children in Clay County. Children and witnesses of these crimes should not have to fear about coming forward about these crimes that are happening. Protection of these victims of these crimes should be the top priority for law enforcement and staff members if the child were to disclose to a school district employee.
After-school programs are so important because they give students a safe environment to be in, as well as opportunity to build better life skills. Clubs such as Project Lead at the elementary schools give those students a chance to get some extra tutoring for their schoolwork, as well as a possible last snack before they go home for the night. The club at the middle school runs very similarly to Project Lead. It offers leadership, tutoring, working on important lifelong skills, and acts as a safe place for underprivileged students. Another helpful program that the middle school offers is PM Academy. PM Academy helps further students' education, work ethic, and gives students the extra push to work on homework, missed quizzes, and tests. And it gives students a sense of responsibility to take the initiative to better themselves. Some students may be assigned and required to go because of missing assignments. PM Academy pushes students to get their work done on time and try their best to get good grades so they don't fall behind. Other after-school activities such as school sports also allow a safe place for students who may or may not have a place to go directly after school. Going out for sports also helps those students build better communication, leadership, and teamwork skills as gain responsibility and accountability. Programs such as the FFA, FCCLA, drama, and humanities clubs also offer involvement inside and outside of school. Participating in these clubs all provide a safe environment and are safe alternatives to what students may be doing.
Our Leader in Me program, which is our character education program, is something that's building wide. And in a roundabout way, it's a lot of social and emotional stuff because it's teaching you to basically that everybody's good at something, everybody's great at something, and it's our job to figure out what it is and give them that niche. Coming from the high school principal position, which I was in, I saw firsthand that if kids have something they want to come to high school for other than just school, they're going to be okay.
Do you see a lot of inequalities within the student body?
Not really.
No? Do you see any inequalities in the student body?
I do. Students get treated differently by a lot of people and by a lot of teachers, and they're not all treated the same.
Yeah, so and I'll say this up front, I come from a very specific lens of my primary training is A, working with children, and B, specifically children and teens who've experienced trauma. And I would say as a mental health professional, the more that I A, work in the field, and B, expand my training and knowledge, the greater that I see that, there are so many kids and teens who've experienced trauma, and not just a single trauma, but multiple. And that often those are the kids who will have hard times in school, whether that's behavioral issues, high anxiety, withdrawal, isolation, peer rejection, things like that. And so I would say when I think of kids and their mental health, I think because I come from that lens and I can see that. So for instance, maybe a third grader is hitting kids on the playground or is really distracted in class, while some people might view that as a naughty kid or a kid that needs more discipline. I come from the lens of let's look at their mental health, what's going on for them in their home life, what have they experienced, and putting those symptoms in that context. Because I'm not going to say 100% of the time, but a large majority of the time, kids who are struggling, it's because something is going on in their life, and it's a mental health need that's unmet.
School is overwhelming. Yes, you can overload yourself by accident. Yes, you will feel there's so much stress and pressure about school and everything else at the same time. Yes, it's normal. We interviewed Jenna from Pawnee Mental Health over the phone about her job and how she views mental health in students, as well as mental health programs in schools. Schools should provide programs to help students, such as Students Helping Students and one-on-one help with a counselor. Schools should also make accessibility for mental health help programs a top priority, especially for those who are in urgent need of that help. Students shouldn't be afraid or embarrassed by seeking mental health help. Everyone has their internal struggles that need to be addressed and helped at some point.
Not only will the redesign of our education help students learn better and succeed more, but it can and will help students suffering from mental health issues. Students will have more time to work, which will help them get their grades up. Along with GPA rising, the students will have more time outside of school to pursue activities that will generally make them happier and enjoy themselves a little more. There will be so much time freed from homework and other school assignments that the student will become less stressed.